Did you ever see that painting, Grandmamma, with the little girl in it?" "Many times," my grandmother said, and the peculiar thing was that little Sulvig kept changing her position in the picture. One day she would actually be inside the farmhouse, and you could see her face looking out of the window. Another day she would be far over to the left with a duck in her arms. Did you see her moving in the picture, Grandmamma?" "Nobody did. Wherever she was, whether outside feeding the ducks or inside looking out of the window, she was always motionless, just like a figure painted in oils. It was all very odd," my grandmother said. "Very odd indeed. And what was most odd of all was that as the years went by, she kept growing older in the picture. In 10 years, the small girl had become a young woman. In 30 years, she was middle-aged. Then all at once, 54 years after it all happened, she disappeared from the picture altogether." "You mean she died?" I said. "Who knows?" my grandmother said. "Some very mysterious things go on in the world of witches." "That's 2 you've told me about," I said. "What happened to the third one?" "The third one was little Burgette Svensson," my grandmother said. "She lived just across the road from us. One day she started growing feathers all over her body. Within a month she had turned into a large white chicken. Her parents kept her for years in a pen in the garden. She even laid eggs." "What colour eggs?" I said. "Brown ones," my grandmother said. "Biggest eggs I've ever seen in my life. Her mother made omelettes out of them. Delicious they were." I gazed up at my grandmother, who sat there like some ancient queen on her throne. Her eyes were misty grey, and they seemed to be looking at something many miles away. The cigar was the only real thing about her at that moment, and the smoke it made billowed round her head in blue clouds. "But the little girl who became a chicken didn't disappear," I said. "No, not Burgette. She lived on for many years, laying her brown eggs." "You said all of them disappeared." "I made a mistake," my grandmother said. "I am getting old. I can't remember everything.